And Tina, you are on mute as well.
Sorry, I was trying to get everything situated. Hi, everyone. I am Tina. I am our Associate Director for Housing and Dining. Welcome. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes out of your evening to spend some time with me to learn about a wonderful on-campus experience. So today, I just want to talk you through what it means to meet your moment by choosing to live on campus. So, can you afford to live on campus? Hopefully, by the end of the evening, your answer will be yes. So yeah, everybody can see it. Sorry. So I want to talk a little bit about our first year experience. And so students in their first year or their first time choosing to be a part of an on-campus experience for CU Denver tend to live on campus due to the fact of the location, how accessible it is to campus. You can really just roll out of bed and attend classes because of the academic support that you gain. Teachers, faculty members are right at your fingertips. You can quickly gain access to them by choosing to live on campus. And I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the facilities and the amenities that we actually have available within our on-campus experience. So CU Denver on-campus housing consists of two residential buildings. And the building tonight that I want to showcase is our pretty much, I would say, are fairly new. It was done in 2021. Our City Heights building that's available to our first year students. We have a couple of different floor plans in there, but it is fully equipped with everything you need in order to have a true on-campus experience. Um, Not to mention our community engagement with our residential facilities. And so tons of community members from CU Denver actually partake and become really involved with our students on campus, from late night evening programs to just having lunch or having a meal in our on-campus dining experience. So let's talk about our floor plans. So City Heights offers two different floor plans on campus. We have our double occupancy floor plan, which comes fully furnished with everything that you need. And all you really need to do is bring your toiletries and everything that you need in order to feel right at home. And then we have our triple occupancy floor plan, where you are sharing a bedroom space with two other individuals besides yourself in the building. And so we have two different floor plans for you to choose from within our City Heights experience. Our services. So while this list is not all exhausted, but we offer direct billing. And so what that means is you're going to tell us everything that you want, everything that it's going to take for you to have a successful experience. Tina, I want my floor plan. I would like to have parking if all possible. I want this particular meal plan. You're going to give me your order, and then we're going to take that and place it onto your student account. And so all you have to do is work with the bursar's office and financial aid to figure out how do you pay that bill. So we're here to make sure that we take your order and that we pass it over to our financial team. And so you don't have to worry about that. You leave that to us and you just work with our financial departments. We also have furnished units available for you. We have our signature on dining experience. And so we're going to talk about a little bit more what that means. We have study lounges, study spaces. We have exciting community meetups. There's always something going on in the building. We provide tons of ways to meet new people, to fully stay engaged in the on-campus experience. We have around the clock professional staff members available to you. So we have our front desk that's probably better than any concierge. They are operational from 7 o'clock in the morning until midnight. So there's somebody at our front desk with a smiling face ready to assist and help you. And then we also provide student development opportunities. So one of my favorite student development opportunity is we have front desk jobs. And so if you're looking for an opportunity to get involved, meet people, and make money, we got you covered. The front desk experience is going to be a great opportunity and a stepping stone for a leadership development opportunity. So I would definitely encourage you, if you're thinking about how you can play an active role in paying and assisting with your college experience, think about the front desk as an opportunity. We do all of our employment through Handshake, which you're going to learn a little bit more about later. It's just an on-site job board that you can utilize to gain gainfully employment. We have control access for our buildings, meaning that you have to be occupying a space in order to gain entry into the building. So that means nobody just can't pop up on you and come and visit you without you knowing it. We want to make sure that it's a partnership, not just with us and on-campus housing, but it's truly a partnership with everybody that's involved in your higher education experience. And so if somebody is coming to visit you, they got to tell you so that you can meet them at one of our front desks. That way you know that they are coming. And so even you yourself, to stay safe and to make sure that we're providing top level security, we make sure that your ID is available, as it is your key and helps you to gain access into any of the facilities, not just in the on-campus housing, but into any of the facilities on campus. We have a gated parking community only at Links Crossing. And so if you're looking for parking, we do have a limited amount of spaces that's available to you at our Links Crossing residential facility. And so if you're living at City Heights and you're thinking about parking, just keep in mind that we have one lot that's available to you at Links Crossing. It is not a part of the AHAC experience. So not a part of the Auraria campus parking lot. It is only connected with housing and dining, and it is located behind our Links Crossing facility. We also have free laundry. I know we over there like woo woo. So we do have laundry that's available to you. So your student or students, you can wash, dry your clothes at your own leisure. As it is readily available and it is free to you. We also have a service parents where you can sign your student up for a fluff and fold service, which is located right in our building as well. And so if you're thinking that maybe your student, if you're thinking that you're not the best with it, but you want to make sure that you keep a clean and safe environment for our campus community, think about our Fluff and Float program. Our Links dining experience. So we know that students care a lot about where they're going to live and especially what they're going to eat. So it is our business to make sure that we keep you fully nourished and ready to go so that you can do a great job in the classroom and then enjoy our out of the classroom experience. So as a part of our Links dining experience, we offer two meal plans for our first year students, the Broncos and the Nuggets. Each of these meal plans come with a weekly allowance of meals and then a monthly allowance of flex cash. And so For the weekly allowance of meals, those re-up every week. So in these two programs, the Broncos come with 19 meals a week, and then the Nuggets come with 14 meals a week. Each of these come with a set amount every month for your pretty much your allowance. I always say like your little grocery money. That way, and any usage beyond a meal, you can actually utilize it. So, talking about our Links dining locations, you can dine at the City Heights Dining Hall, which is our all you care to eat option. So, similar to like a full hall kind of concept, you can go up to a station and kind of get your meal from there. But if you change your mind and you're like, you know what? My stomach is actually feeling those burgers and fries. You can do that as well. And so tons of different options in our dining hall. Then we have our Eat Food Market that's available to you. So more of a pub style concept. So grilled fries, burgers, and then we have a grocery component. So if you need something, hey, you know what? I'm not feeling so great. I really wish I could have some Halls, or I really wish I could just have like some mints, any little thing that maybe you're thinking you forgot. Hey, I need some popcorn, a little bag of popcorn for that movie night. You can get that from our Eat Food Market. We also have Einstein's Bagels that's available to you, and then Qdoba. And so you have four great eateries that's available to your dining experience. Our Links loyalty program. This is one of the most popular reasons why students choose to live with us year and year again. Our Links loyalty program allows you to lock in your rates. Well, what does that mean? So that means that the year that you choose to join the Links living experience and continue to stay with us year after year, that year. So for example, if you're choosing to join us in 25, 26, those years' rates is what your student would lock into. And so next year in 26, 27, when the market is going up and everything is happening, you don't have to worry. You can long-term financial plan for the rates in 25, 26, because that's when your student joined our community. You must stay consistently. There is some little fine print. So if your student decides to leave for a semester, or say, I want to try out apartment living for a year with my friends, the minute that they come back, they're going to go back to those rates. They will only lock in as long as they stay consistent with us. And so again, it's protection against the market increase, and it really provides a competitive advantage with all those other places looking to capitalize on your students' higher education experience. So, how do I join this wonderful experience, Tina? So, step one, you want to visit our website at www.ucdenver.edu/housing. That's where you can go to begin securing your housing. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to log in with your CU Denver credentials, because at this point, you have declared intent. You have decided to come to CU Denver. So you want to make sure you got those credentials so that you're able to log in to our student housing portal. You're going to complete the process by customizing your experience and going through all the steps before signing your contract. You're going to tell me about your preferences for a floor plan, a meal plan, parking. You're going to tell me everything that you want. Again, it's going to be your preferences. It's not going to be your selections. So you're going to say to me, Tina, I need all of these things. You know what? I want to be a part of a living and learning community. I think that's going to help me to be successful here at CU. You're going to pick everything that you need. When you have done that, you're going to sign your contract. If you are under the age of 18, your parent will need to be involved. They're going to sign a contract saying that they know that you signed a contract. Okay? If you're over the age of 18, I just need you to sign the contract as the student. Once you sign that contract, the next step is you're then going to attend a financial planning meeting. You're going to go meet with one of our great people over in financial aid, and you're going to talk through a plan so that you you have a full knowledge and understanding of what's it going to take in order for you to be successful financially and live on campus. Okay. Once you have completed steps 1 through 4, and the financial aid office is going to communicate with me and they're going to say, Tina, this person is good to go. I will then begin to allow you to join our roommate groups. Then you're going to pick and maybe decide if you want a roommate. If you don't want a roommate, you're saying, Tina, you pick for me. I don't really care. Actually, I want to join a roommate group. I want to see if I can, I want to find someone who maybe I share the same interests with. All up to you. Then once everything has been completed, so steps 1 through 5, I will then grant you all of your preferences based off of my availability at the time you have completed steps 1 through 5. Okay, so everything is based off. So the sooner you do it, the more likelihood chances you're going to receive your preferences. The more time you take, the less likely you're going to get your top choices. Okay? So if you are for certain CU Denver is the place and you don't want to experience CU Denver without living on campus, go secure your housing. Do it now. Attend your financial meeting so that we can move on to steps 5 and 6. I'm excited and I'm ready to see you here. I look forward to seeing all of you in the fall.
Thanks, Tina. I am going to just go through a couple of questions that came through. This one came up a couple times. Can freshmen live in Links Crossing dorms?
So there is an option if you sign up quickly. So again, based off of when you actually sign your contract, there are 2 other options available for only CU Denver students. And so those other 2 options are our 2 bath units are available to first year students. And then we have some single occupancy spaces that are our Super 2s, doubles without kitchens. So I would highly suggest go looking them up online and looking at the other 2 options that you could potentially live in for your first year.
Right, thank you. And what about the laundry? Is the laundry relatively close to where students are?
So in our Links Crossing building, we have one laundry facility that's located on the south side of our building on the first floor. It is pretty much in conjunction to maybe like a laundromat, I would say. In our City Heights building, we have laundry facilities on every other floor. And so I would say they could be potentially really close. They could be the steps outside of your door.
Thank you. And for the food options, are there kosher or halal options available?
So we don't always have kosher and halal options readily available. That would definitely be something that we would work with our dining services to see how demanding that regimen or menu regimen may be for you as the student. And so that is something that we would 100% work with our dining services to see if the menu option that a student may need, if we can actually offer that.
All right, thank you. And then um is the housing first come, first serve? And if you have friends also signing up, can you room with them?
So housing is first come, first serve. So if student number 1 is like, I'm signing up tomorrow, you want the other student to be close. So you want to be in conversation with your group or people who you're wanting to live with. But absolutely, if you sign up and you both sign up, we're going to do everything possible to try to put you together. But the best way to kind of ensure that is through the roommate groups. And so that means that once you've done your financial planning meeting, so everybody needs to get through steps 1 through 4 fairly quickly. So then you can secure and confirm your roommate group. That's going to be the best way to have those other people who want to live with you be able to live with you.
All right. And then this one came up a couple times. If I've signed the contract, and after have the finance meeting and I cannot afford it, what happens? Am I able to back out of that?
So I don't know. I don't know if students remember, but in the contract, there is a page that has a fee schedule. The fee schedule outlines what the fees are for when you are looking to get out of the contract. So let's say from January 6th, when the contract opened, to March 30th, it is $0 to get out of the contract. You just need to email housing@ucdenver.edu, letting them know that you are looking to cancel your contract. A quick form will be sent to you. Fill out the form so that we can get a full request that you are looking to cancel your contract. After $0, I believe it's March 30th through April 30th, it's $100. I would say go back and look at that contract and look for the fee schedule. I believe it's like page 9, if I'm not mistaken. You can look at the fee schedule, and the fee schedule will help you to outline, hey, if I'm looking to cancel now, what would it cost for me to get out?
All right. Thank you.
Mhm.
We will go ahead and switch over to our financial aid and scholarships office with our director, Ryan Grodman. But I do want to just reiterate that if you are unsure if you will be attending CU Denver, do not submit the housing contract yet. It is not an application, it is a contract. So please beware that you are signing a contract once you click submit. With that, I will go ahead and hand it over to Ryan.
Hey, everybody. Let me start sharing my presentation and then we will get going. Right. Not sure why. There it is. Present. Full screen. All right. Good to go. Hi, everybody. My name is Ryan Godman. I am the Director of Financial Aid and Scholarships here at CU Denver. I don't know why it went to a different screen, so let's get all the way out to the financial. I had to start from the beginning. There I am. All right. I am Ryan Grodman. I'm the director of the Financial Aid and Scholarship Office here at CU Denver, and I have lots of very exciting information. I will probably answer some of the questions that were just put in chat, and I will be happy to answer whatever other questions you all come up with as I go through. And then anything I don't answer, I'm willing to wager Tom over in our bursar's office will also be able to clarify for you. So let's get going. Our Financial Aid and Scholarship Office. We do a lot here. So today I real quickly will run through what financial aid is, what scholarships look like, what work study is and how you apply for it, other types of aid that we work with, what a cost of attendance involves, a sample award letter that you should be receiving here in the next month or so, and then just some general updates and how to get a hold of us. So without further ado, why this is not moving to the next slide. There we go. So, financial aid office. We administer all financial aid, no matter what it looks like. If you are receiving state or federal financial aid, it will come through the financial aid office. We also manage all scholarships in some way, shape, or form. There's a lot of different kinds of scholarships, so I'll touch on those as well. We administer all off-campus work study, and we also work with all on-campus work study students to make sure that you have a work study award on your account. We make sure everything is clean and accurate and correct on your account too, to make sure there are no errors or issues. And then we also work with you from before you start school all the way till after you graduate. So if you ever have questions or concerns or anything comes up, you reach out to our office and we can help you no matter what the issue is. So, financial aid. When we talk about financial aid, we usually mean federal financial aid. That is what you get when you do your FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. Federal student aid involves both grants and loans. So, preferably, if you complete your FAFSA, you're going to be eligible for some grants. The most common type of grant that students are eligible for is that Pell Grant. Right now, the maximum Pell Grant students can get is $7,395 per year. It changes each year, generally based upon what Congress dictates. But right now, and going into next year, it is 7,395 is the max. And then you also can be eligible for a supplemental educational opportunity grant. That one changes each year. It could be $100, it could be $1,000. So each year you'll be able to look at your award letter and see if you qualify for it, what that amount is. We also do offer the Teach Grant. That one is specifically for students in specific teaching programs. Anyone who is in those programs and is interested in receiving a Teach Grant, they have to agree to serve in an area of high need after they graduate. So teaching in either a low income or inner city school or a rural school, places where it's harder to find teachers. You will receive a grant to attend and get your teaching degree. And then if you complete your service contract to participate in one of those areas of high need, then it remains a grant. You don't pay it back. If for some reason you receive the grant, but then don't fulfill the full commitment to serve in those high need areas, it changes to a student loan, and you just pay it back with any other student loans that you receive. And then we also do work with the Iraq and Afghanistan Service Grant for those who have parents or other if you're a dependent of someone who was killed or seriously injured in Iraq or Afghanistan, we can definitely work with those students as well. So happy to answer questions about any of those now, or if you think about it later, you can reach out to our team. Other than grants, we can also provide federal student loans. So there are a lot of different kinds of student loans. Generally, the federal student loans have the most borrower protections, the best repayment options, the best opportunity for loan forgiveness, those kinds of things. So generally, it's recommended that if you qualify and need to use student loans, that you would use the federal student loans first and then move on to private loans, just because there's better interest rates and repayment terms with the federal options. There are different kinds of federal loans. So there's subsidized loans. Those are where the government pays the interest while you're enrolled in school. So you don't make any payments while you're enrolled in school. The interest doesn't accrue while you're in school. You don't have to start repayment on subsidized loans until 6 months after you graduate or stop attending. Hopefully you graduate, but if you stop attending, you drop out, withdraw, medical withdrawal, whatever the issue is, after 6 months, you would start repayment on those loans. An unsubsidized loan is very similar. The only difference is the government doesn't pay the interest while you're in school. So you don't have to make payments, although if you're able to, we recommend you do so that the interest doesn't continue to accrue and build up. But otherwise, you don't start repaying on an unsubsidized loan either until 6 months after you stop attending. And then the last option is the PLUS loan, which is technically an acronym. It's the parent loan for undergraduate students. There is a parent version of that for undergraduate students, but there's also a graduate version. So if you ever decide to attend grad school, or if anyone here is interested in attending grad school, there is a graduate option that doesn't involve any parent information. The PLUS loan does accrue interest and does require, hang on one sec, my dogs are making noises in the background. So the PLUS loan, sorry, I got a little sidetracked there. The parent version of the PLUS loan does require a secondary credit check and application, but otherwise it will pay up to your full cost of attendance to help you pay for school. Awesome. So those are the federal options. More preferably, there are a ton of scholarship options. So here at CU Denver, we have over 4,000 scholarship opportunities available to students, and there are a whole bunch of different types of those. So there's institutional scholarships. Those are the options that are provided by the university. We select the students, the money comes from the university, and everything is internal. There's also private scholarships. That's where the money comes from the outside. Those are some of the larger scholarship organizations you may have heard of, like the Daniels Fund or Betcher or Puxta or the Gates Foundation, where the money comes from the outside, but we actually pick the students and we work with those scholars throughout their enrollment, and those outside organizations pay for the scholarship. There are different kinds of institutional and private scholarships as well. So there's college administered. That's where it runs through like the business school or, College of Liberal Arts and Sciences or School of Education, whatnot. They have their own pools of funds that go specifically to their students. And then there's also the FASO administered funds. FASO is the acronym for Financial Aid and Scholarship Office. Those ones are available to all students, no matter whether you're in the College of Business or College of Education. We provide those opportunities to every student who qualifies. You just have to apply for it. And if you qualify, it doesn't matter which program you're enrolled in. And then last but not least, there are several thousand additional external scholarship opportunities. Those are where the money comes from the outside. The students are picked by the outside scholarship organization, and they just send us a check that has your name on it that says we awarded this much money to whoever they picked. The external scholarships obviously are a little more competitive because they're usually open to students both at CU Denver and at other institutions too. But we have all of these scholarships in one location. It's called Scholarship Universe. So we manage our website called Scholarship Universe. Once you're able to log into your student portal, you can automatically log into Scholarship Universe. You don't need a secondary login. You start answering some of those matching questions, and it will start pairing you with scholarship opportunities, tell you how much do you qualify for, what additional requirements they have right there in that website. It'll keep them all organized for you. And then you apply for as many as you want or can. And then the actual application period will last. It'll say in each scholarship how long you have to apply, and then we will alert you through Scholarship Universe if you qualify. So, like I said, thousands and thousands of scholarship opportunities out there for tens of millions of dollars to help you pay for school after, any grants you get. You do scholarships, and then you can also do work study, which I'll get here into a sec. And then you can have loans at the end, whatever the leftover amount is you need to help you pay for any of those additional expenses. So work study, we've talked about that. Tina mentioned it as well. There are hundreds and hundreds of work study jobs available on campus. So there's federal work study, which you need to complete a FAFSA to receive. And then there's state work study, which is through the state of Colorado. You have to do a FAFSA for both of them, but the federal work study is based upon the results of your FAFSA. State work study is very similar, except you actually have to be a Colorado resident to receive it. Otherwise, the amounts are generally the same. The types of jobs that qualify for those fund sources are the same. Everything is fairly similar. There is a difference, though, between on and off campus jobs and work study jobs. So on campus is you are working for somewhere at CU Denver. You're working, in the housing office, you're working in the financial aid or scholarship office or the bursar's office, or in the or not in the library, but in your classroom if you're like a lab assistant or whatever the case is. Hundreds of those jobs exist, but there's also quite a few opportunities for off-campus jobs. Interestingly enough, most off-campus jobs are actually on campus. So they're with they're in the Tivoli Center, or they're at the King Performing Arts Center, or in the library where it's a shared resource amongst the campus, or it may be over at like MSU or at CCD, one of the other sister campuses on the Auraria campus, where you're not directly working for CU Denver, you're working for somewhere else on the campus, but you can still receive work study to help you pay for school and some of those extra expenses, just like you would with an on-campus job. So there's a lot of different options out there for you. And as Tina said, you apply for all of these jobs through Handshake, which is through our Career Services Center. I have the contact information at the end of the presentation as well. But you apply through Handshake, you get the job, you reach out to us saying you got a job, we will add work study funds to your account, and then you use them and you get paid every 2 weeks, just like any other job. And the funds pay directly to you. They don't pay to your student account. If you have any balance on your student account, it will not pay directly to that balance. You receive a check just like any other paycheck, and you use that money, whether it's to pay for any educational expenses or to pay for fun things. So if all your educational expenses are paid for and you want to go see a movie or go out to dinner or something, you can use that money for that too. So work study is a very fun and useful opportunity on campus to pick up some extra cash and help you pay for some extra bills. Other aid, I won't get too in depth here, but we get tens of millions of dollars from the state of Colorado for both graduate and undergraduate students for grant opportunities. So students with the highest need are usually the ones who are awarded those opportunities. So you do your FAFSA, or if you're not a U.S. citizen, you can do the Colorado application, the CAFSA, the Colorado application for federal student aid or free student aid. But you do the one of those two, and if you complete it and you're eligible, we will award you Colorado Student Grant or Colorado Graduate Grant. You can also obviously get the Colorado Work Study opportunity as well. We also work with private lenders. So if you don't want to or can't use federal student loans, you're able to use private loans. You reach out to us and we'll help walk you through that process. I don't need to really get into consortium agreements too deep, but if you want to take classes that aren't offered directly at CU Denver, you can always take coursework that applies to your major at another institution and have it transfer back in and get financial aid for that if it qualifies. It just has to be pre-approved. And then really fun opportunity and something that you should definitely look into are study abroad programs. So obviously study abroad, you get to travel all over the world, learn lots of fun, interesting things, meet fun, interesting people. And the awesome part is we can actually apply that to your cost of attendance and you can get financial aid to help pay for it. So if you're eligible for a lot of grants and scholarships and you want to do a study abroad program, you might be able to use grants and scholarships to pay for study abroad. And then it doesn't cost you anything extra out of pocket and you get to go travel and do fun things. So definitely take advantage of that. Do some research as you get into your program, and reach out to our study abroad office if you have questions about that too. All right, so I've talked about cost of attendance a whole bunch. I will just kind of highlight some of these things and we can always answer questions later on if you have questions about any of this, but there are two different parts of your cost of attendance. There are direct costs, so things paid directly to the university. We know the exact amount, we charge you the exact amount, you pay us, or if you get financial aid, the financial aid pays for this first before anything is left over that's sent out to you. And then there's indirect costs. Those are things that are not paid directly to the university. We get an average amount from the state of Colorado that we provide to every student who's eligible. And you can get financial aid to cover these things as well, even if you don't pay for it directly to the university. So tuition, fees, on-campus housing, dining, those are all direct costs. Indirect costs, if you're living with your parent or if you're off campus, any housing or food for those expenses, transportation, personal expenses, loan fees, you can get financial aid to cover those things. Generally, on campus housing and dining plans, you get a little more financial aid than off campus, but otherwise, it's all fairly similar. But there are a lot of opportunities for you to get financial aid to cover any educational expense you have. And if you have an additional educational expense in any of these categories or anything else that you feel like you need additional financial aid for, you reach out to our office and let us know, and we'll confirm and add additional room in your budget so that you can get more financial aid to help cover those things. So all of this ends up looking like this on your student or on your award letter when we send it out to you, which we're going to start sending out award letters probably early March, if not sooner, but we're shooting for early March. You will see all this information on your award letter. You'll see both your grants and scholarships at the top of the page, and then a little further down, you will see the federal student loans that you're eligible for. And we break it out by semester. So you'll see what you qualify for each semester and what the grand total is for the year. And then we also will show you what the estimated expenses are. So this particular student is getting charged that amount for tuition and fees at the very top. Those are the direct expenses. So those are what the actual financial aid will pay for directly. And then at the bottom, those are the indirect costs. So this particular student living off campus, so they have the housing and dining expense in there for each semester, loan fees, transportation, book supplies, miscellaneous. So all told, you'll see that this student has $11,920 of direct costs and $19,000 of indirect costs. That means the student would qualify for a little bit over $30,000 of financial aid, but only $12,000 of your financial aid actually is paid to the university. The rest of it would be sent to you as a refund that you can then use to pay for all of these other indirect costs. So yeah, there's a little nuance to the way this works, and your charges and expenses change based upon the number of credits you take, the type of classes you take. So your fees may be different, your housing situation may be different. Obviously, as Tina talked about, different on-campus housing options have different rates. So your housing cost may be more or less depending on which option you choose. But there are a lot of opportunities here for you to get financial aid to help you pay for everything that you need to get through a year or your entire program of college. The other thing on your award letter is your personal information, just to make sure that everything calculated correctly. Thomas will get into this too, but your residency status is incredibly important because that's what dictates what your tuition rate is. Your enrollment status for both fall and spring you want to confirm. We generally send your award letter based on full-time enrollment, which is 12 credits. If you are taking less than 12 credits, your financial aid may be less, your tuition may be less, but you want to make sure that you're aware of what your actual enrollment looks like, because that dictates how much you're actually going to be charged. And also obviously make sure that your SAI from your FAFSA, that's the number that dictates how much financial aid you get, is accurate, and that your program looks good too. But all important information to confirm just to make sure it's all accurate so that the calculation that you have to determine your finances and your ability to pay for everything is accurate. Awesome. All right. And just some really important reminders to get into. So it is important, as I just said, determine your costs. Know what things cost. As Tina mentioned, we this year are starting a new initiative to make sure that every single student who's entering into a housing contract speaks directly with one of my financial aid advisors. Previously, it was if you needed to talk to a financial aid advisor, we were obviously here to help, but it wasn't a part of the whole housing contract process. This year, we are scheduling appointments with every single person who signs a housing contract, every new student who's getting in housing. and we will reach out to you. So we have a list from housing out for people who actually sign up for the housing contract. We reach out and we'll schedule an appointment with you one-on-one to make sure you know exactly what your expenses are, what the housing charges are. I'm getting feedback. I don't know if someone is off mute, but anyway, so either way, you will reach out, or my financial aid team will reach out to you, make sure you know what the costs are, make sure you know what your financial aid looks like, and help you plan accordingly so that there's no confusion when you get started in your program or when you get to the end of the year, how you're going to pay for everything. So that's a great opportunity that housing students have access to that not every single student is guaranteed to have. So it's a great option if you are entering housing that you are guaranteed to have one of those one-on-one conversations with my team. After you are packaged, awarded, whatever you want to call it, and you receive your financial aid, we automatically assume that you want grants and scholarships, but we do not assume that you want loans. We will add loans up to your eligibility on your account, but they will never pay to cover any of your charges or disperse out to you. So the important thing is go into your student portal if you do want to use any of those student loans and accept the loan amount. You can accept all of it, you can accept some of it, you can accept none of it. It's entirely up to you. But if you want to use loans, you do have to accept the loans. You also, if you want to pay for things on campus that are not one of those direct charges I said, so tuition, fees, housing, dining. So if you want to pay for like a parking pass or library or not library, bookstore charges. You can authorize your financial aid to cover those, but you have to go into your portal and authorize to pay those charges so that your financial aid will pay it automatically. Otherwise, like I said, you'll receive any extra financial aid after your direct costs are paid, and you can use that extra money to just pay for it out of your own pocket. It's up to you how you want to do that. And then incredibly important, make sure that if you are receiving financial aid, you enroll in direct deposit because that is how we will send that extra funding to you. Otherwise, a check will go out, but the checks only go out once a week. They can take weeks to get to you. If you need that money, it's going to take longer than you probably want to wait to receive it. Direct deposit, we run every weekday, and generally it's in your account within 24 to 48 hours. So it's a much better option, much quicker, and you will have the funds available to pay for the things you need in a much more timely manner. The last thing at the very bottom, make sure you know how many credits you're enrolled in. You get the most financial aid if you're going full-time. You get approximately half the amount of aid if you're going half-time. So if you're going less than half-time, you may not get any financial aid at all. It all depends on how many courses you're enrolled in, how many credits you're taking. 12 credits is full-time. To get loans and most scholarships and some of these grants, you have to be at least half-time, at least 2 classes or 6 credits as an undergrad, at least 1 class or 3 credits as a graduate student. But it's important to know, and if you're going to change your enrollment after you've received your award letter, reach out to us and we can help you know what the impact would be if you do change your course load, because it could make a big difference in your ability to pay for all of your different educational expenses. Awesome. You don't even need to get that. But I will tell you, oh, my contact info is not in here. I will drop my contact info in the chat. It looks like it missed in one of these slides. But there are a lot of different ways to reach out to us. We have a financial aid email. We have a scholarship email. We have a student employment email. I will put them all in the chat just to make sure that you have them. And other than that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you come up with now or at the end of the presentation. So thank you all, and good luck in the upcoming school year.
Great. Thank you. And I know there were a few questions that came in that we were able to answer most of those in the chat, but I am going to hand it over to our Bursar office so that way we can get through their presentation and then we will continue to answer questions once they are done. Thomas, it's all yours.
Okay. Good evening and welcome. Let's try to get the right one. Okay. Are we seeing the presentation?
Yes.
All right, great start. So I am Tom, welcome, or Thomas, whichever. I'm the Associate Bursar at CU Denver. I'm going to talk a little bit about where to find information, some of the things that kind of pick up on some of the things that Ryan brought up. So let's go ahead and get started. So what is the Bursar? That is an old-fashioned, pleasant old-fashioned word, isn't it? So we handle all billing, payment plans, payment options, financial aid refunds, third-party information. That's when a separate organization pays for your, as opposed to a parent or someone else. That the third party is an actual organization making a payment on your behalf. VA education benefit, student debt management, and the 1098-T form, which is a tax form that we send out every January. So this is and all of our, just to pick up on what Ryan, the contact information for all of us is at the end of the presentation. So I'll kind of touch that for all of us. So where to find information? You'll be using the UCD Access, the student portal for the most part. You just log in, and you'll be using it a lot, believe me, authenticate. And then we're going to be within the portal. We're the little dollar bill. Ryan would be the dollar sign. We're the dollar bill. And what you'll be able to see is kind of your class information as well as the billing information. And you can make the payment from this area. This is within the portal. And that's pretty much the same thing. So here you'll be able to see recent statements. You can pull up a statement. You can see the transactions down at the bottom of this. You can see each individual transaction. So you'll be able to see these, just to clarify, within the portal as soon as you register. You don't have to wait for a bill or an email to be sent. You can actually see them within the portal. Also, another thing here, very useful, is you can authorize payers to view billing information and make payments on your behalf, which is different from FERPA consent, which I will come back to. Ryan mentioned too. This is different. This really is specific to making payments and seeing billing information. And it's a relatively simple process. You can log in, create an authorized payer account, and that's what I just said about FERPA. And what's going to happen, you have to carefully enter the email address for the authorized payer and confirm it, because they're going to get an email that they're going to need to use to authenticate within the payment part of the portal so that they can make payments on your behalf. So that is kind of the quick and easy how you can authorize a payer. So, and QuickPay is just a thing that is really just kind of the vendor that does this for us. So if you hear a reference to that, that's where all your billing information is, and you access it right off of the portal. View and pay accounts, see the transactions, billing statements. Now, payment plan is something that I don't think we have a specific slide dedicated to that, but we do offer payment plans, so that's important. If you arrange a payment plan in the beginning of August for the fall term, you can do a 4-payment plan: August, September, October, November. If you wait until after August 18th, that's kind of our cutoff, then you're looking at a 3-payment plan: September, October, November. So just kind of putting in the plug for that. The payments happen the 20th of each month. There is a $40 charge for setting that up per semester. And if for any reason the payment were to fail, it will be attempted again the first of the following month. So some important dates some bills will be first available. We'll send out a bill to you the week of August 18th. But again, if you have access to the portal, you can view the billing information as soon as you're registered. We start, but not until after the end of July. So really basically August 1st. From there forward, as soon as you're registered, you'll be able to see your billing information right online. Authorized payers, and the first due date overall is September 5th for the fall semester. So by then, in order to avoid fees or anything else, you should be signed up for a payment plan, either a 4-payment plan if you do it before August 18th, or a 3-payment plan after that. So September 5th is kind of, things should be settled and organized for how payment is going to occur. And like I said, the 2.85% is the fee that's added when payment is made with a charge card. So that means we strongly recommend payment with an electronic check. There's no additional fee for that. So moving along to tuition and fees. I think we're providing the whole presentation, but this is a link to our tuition and fee pages. It's confusing, and I'm not going to try to pretend that it's not. So Ryan referred to residency status and the direct effect that it has on your tuition and fees. So residency is really set within the registrar's office, but you can see it directly affects how much tuition is going to be assessed. So if there are questions about that, contact us, contact the registrar's office if it's specific to residency. Also, just a note that there are different schools at CU Denver, so the billing kind of follows the class. So you might have different rates for different courses depending on which courses you take. And also on that same page where you can view tuition and fees, if you scroll down, you will see all of our various fees. Some fees are per credit hour, some per semester, some according to the college of the courses that you're taking. There are many different possibilities, but on that page we try to cover every fee that might be assessed. So the College Opportunity Fund is for in-state Colorado residents, undergraduates, up to 145 credit hours. College Assist is kind of the organization that does this. You have to apply with them, be eligible, apply and be approved. Once you're approved for COF, this past year, the past 2 years, I believe it took 116 per credit hour off of the bill for undergraduate students. That's per credit hour. So the important things here to understand about COF, we call it COF. We throw around acronyms. You apply with College Assist once, but every semester you have to go in and authorize it. So again, within the portal, there's a place where you can go to authorize the COF. Quick note, Ryan had mentioned authorizing financial aid to pay other fees. This is where you find that, this view student permissions. Just a quick plug for that. So anyway, COF authorization is here. What we recommend, you click through that, you can authorize semester by semester. We recommend the lifetime, so you do it once and it's taken care of. You don't have to keep doing it every semester over and over. So that is how you apply and then authorize COF, or College Opportunity Fund. So refunds, Ryan put the plug in for this, and I will too. You want to set up direct deposit refunds. We will begin processing refunds of financial aid funds as early as 7 to 10 days before the semester begins. So that would put us in, I think, early August, mid-August. So we strongly recommend you set up a direct deposit refund account. If you wait for the checks, personally, I'm from Chicago and I thought the mail was slow there. You set up the direct deposit account. That is the way to go. And this is just the last screen for your signing off on that, giving us the information, and your refunds will go out electronically and much faster. So some information about third-party sponsors. This is when a third party entirely, like someone you work for, some separate organization is paying your bill entirely or in part. We do need to have what we call a sponsored student agreement form. And these are found, again, within the portal, student billing. And what you're going to do, we want to do this every semester. So this is not a one and done type of thing, unfortunately. So if you do have third-party sponsorship, that's great. You're going to want to renew this every semester. Also applies not only to government, but to if you're using veteran education benefits, also we need the sponsored student agreement. So for VA education benefits, these are some of the benefits that we bill. We bill organizations on your behalf. These are some of the ones that students here at CU have. I'm also going to kind of put a plug in for our VA office on campus, which is actually the Office of Veteran and Military Student Services. So if you plan on using VA education benefit, They are outstanding to work with. Here's the contact information. They're the experts on the benefit. We're the expert on billing for it once we know you have the benefit. So kind of putting in something for our VMSS office. So bookstore charges, Ryan touched on this a little bit. Just to explain really briefly, this is contact information for the bookstore. To explain really brief, what you do is if you're going to use financial aid to cover book amounts, you can do that. We can work that out. What happens is we send files back and forth with our bookstore, and they tell us what you spent per book, and that amount does appear on your student account charges. And then when financial aid is paid, it pays for those charges. So you do still see those bookstore charges. That's just kind of a short explanation there. And this is actually FERPA, the Family Education Rights Privacy Act. Again, here in the portal, over here, the little person, keep in mind that if someone else contacts us, whether it's a parent or whomever, they contact us to discuss specific details on your student account. We can't do it unless we have FERPA consent on file from you to talk to them. So this is something you're going to want to complete to go into the portal, select the FERPA release, and then what you're going to do is basically give us the information of the person that you're giving us consent to speak to on your behalf. You'll list name, email address, so that we know for sure it's safe to speak to them on your behalf. So this is a nice picture that's not our contact information, but that's housing and dining, Ryan Financial Aid Scholarships, and this would actually be our contact information. So I will turn it back to you, Alicia, but I'm happy to answer questions.
All right, thank you. I know there was quite a few questions being answered in the chat. If you would like to unmute yourself and ask them now, please feel free to do so. Or if you want to repost your question in the chat if it got missed, also please do so as well. I do want to clarify part of the onboarding of CU Denver is orientation. I know we did not get into that. It is too early to sign up for orientation and think about that right now, but just know the orientation office will send out emails to the email that you have on your admissions application. I highly recommend you do not use a high school email because once you graduate, you do not have access to that, but we will email you when orientation sign up opens. During that process, you will meet one-on-one with an academic advisor. We will have you register for classes, and we will show you how to authorize your COF. We will make sure you can access your email and answer other questions that you might have before you start the semester. So again, I do want to be cognizant of folks' time. If you do need to leave, it is 6:30 Mountain Time. I appreciate you being here, but if you do have a question that did not get asked, please go ahead and ask, and we'll be on the call for a few more minutes. Is access to the rec center included with housing? That's a great question. Access to the rec center is actually included with your student fees. So you do pay student fees. That does give you access to the wellness center. They have a rock climbing wall, full court gym, a pool. They have all the weights you could imagine, yoga, Zumba. So there are a lot of activities that they do. They also take trips, camping trips, and they do hiking trips. So they do have quite a few things available.
Okay, pick this up, Alex. Pay attention.
All right. Any other questions?
I do have a general question regarding, we have like 3 computers up here. We're looking at all the websites and everything. This is a housing question. So for an incoming freshman, we were told that there is a possibility for Links Crossing Studio. And then there was, the next one is like a 2-bedroom, 1 bathroom, etc. What is the best way to set an appointment to speak to someone, because some of these options aren't available to request online, and just wanted to know what's the best way to speak to those people that really know, like, here's your first choice, second choice, third choice, and how to get them.
So during the contracting process, you're able to put those preferences into the contract itself. However, you are more than welcome to call our office. You can also email us at housing at ucdenver.edu to email those questions to us if you have questions about the floor plan. But unfortunately, first year students do not have access to live currently in a studio or that 2x1 floor plan that you're seeing online.
Okay, I see the phone number and the email, and we'll ask them. But just so we could kind of leave here with something, what is if the student, like, their first choice is kind of like a bathroom with minimum people? What how would that work for a freshman? What's the first choice that comes in?
A bathroom with minimum people is going to be a Super 2 without a kitchen. So that's going to be, you should see that about midway in the middle of the page on the website. It
Yep.
should be Super 2 without a kitchen. That's
Okay.
the number one option that meets all of the things that you just asked.
Okay, I'm looking right at it.
Mhm.
Okay, and then what are the hours for that phone number? What's the best time to reach the 315 5272?
We do have student staff that are here until midnight to answer
Oh,
questions.
okay.
However, during the business day, which is usually anywhere from, I would say, about 9 to 4, you could get in touch with one of our professional staff members.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
All right. Well, thank you all so much. We will be posting this on our CU Denver family website. We also will post it to social media channels as well. If you have questions, do not hesitate to email the family@ucdenver.edu. I'll put that in there, and we are happy to help you continue to make connections and get questions asked and answered. I hope you all have a great rest of your evening. Thank you to my panelists. We will be in touch for the next session coming up in a few months. Have a great evening, everybody. Bye bye.